Bulavinaka, we are here at Suva Civic Center and getting ready for the final preparations for something different in relation to a very contentious issue that is facing the whole world, including Fiji, and for many years. Some may think this may be just issues that the overseas nationals, other countries face, but based on historical facts, it definitely depicts a clear picture on what we have come through and what we have been through. With me, I have Talei Ndraunimbaka, and she is talking about the Butakoci Production, which is coming to Suva from tomorrow night, Tuesday night at Civic Center. And then that will be the premiere. Then 2 shows for you, the members of the public, which you have to register for free for Thursday and Friday evening here at the same venue. Tali, let's talk about Butakoci Production.
Yes.
What is it?
It's a theatrical musical play through contemporary dance. And the whole point of it is to they're using them now because of the awareness programs, and they see that they're trying to reach the masses. They sort of just went, okay, we're in a culture of storytellers, right? We love telling stories. Let's take it to the arts to tell a story. So now, Butakoci Production is basically the arts telling the story and creating awareness on human trafficking in Fiji.
A lot of people would be thinking, why so much focus on human trafficking?
Right.
How did you come into this theme of human trafficking and the focus to have a theatrical musical through that?
They had already decided before they brought me in. They had already made up their mind on what the theatrical play should be. It's Butakoci, and it derived from one particular folk song when the conversation started. So when they approached me and they said, listen, we'd like to have a theatrical play. We'd like you, because of your work with Tribute to the Classics, for someone to create a show, create the characters, write the songs, so that we are able to reach more people and get them to talk about human trafficking. Because the problem, Vijay, is, I think mainly because it's due to the culture of silence, a lot of people don't know or don't even believe that human trafficking is happening in Fiji. It's been happening for years, and no one is talking about it. So they've asked us to create something that'll compel people to try and create that conversation.
And who are you working
with? Asia Foundation. Asia Foundation is supported by USAID. And they've fully, including the government, that's also come on board to support this production.
And the US government has yearly reports on trafficking in persons. Fiji is always featured in that.
Yes.
The red flag has always been there about trafficking in persons. Now, when you did research, you definitely went into researching and thinking things through how to storytell.
Right.
What did you discover?
Oh my gosh, it was mind-blowing, Vijay. Yeah? Like I knew human trafficking was a heavy topic. I just didn't realize how dark it is in our own country. Most people don't realize that every day, the statistic, every day somebody is coming into this, and mostly the vulnerable. But to also find out that about 90 to 95% of our cases is within their intimate circle. Their uncle, their aunt, their close friend, their mother, their father. That's what's happening with youths in vulnerable situations, and children.
Historically, you will focus, your theatrical musical focuses on the history of Fiji.
Yes.
And different communities. If you can share some insights into that and how you came up with the songs that matched what you're trying to portray.
In a nutshell, what the production is trying to portray is human trafficking is happening in Fiji right now, but it didn't just start. It's been happening for about 150 years. So when you talk about the indentured laborers, the girmatia, when you talk about blackbirding, so I had to go out and you know, you have statistic and data, but for me to create a script, I needed the stories. I needed to talk to someone who was an expert in it, who was a descendant of it. And when I started talking to them about it and hearing what, you know, you can hear the underlying trauma, the generational trauma, when we're talking about the historical aspect of human trafficking. And so speaking to them and hearing that story, I felt convicted, like to come back and be able to, how can I write a script and write songs that talks about what they're talking about? Because they're only able to talk to me. I have the means through art to tell their story to the masses. So it was quite a long, interesting, and also heavy period of research, talking to the descendants and talking to people who are actually facing it today.
Can you speak about your choice of songs and how you had to come to that decision? Definitely not an easy one when you've had the discussions, and as you said, it was a personal emotional journey for you to then decide on the storytelling through music.
Yeah. When I did know that when I was talking about the historical aspect, you know, I don't speak Hindi, but I knew that I had to find a way to make sure that I was true to the authenticity and the cultural representation. So for example, the song that I wrote for the Girmatia era, which is Where Is My Sun? Sun is in, you know, the sun, because it's constantly in darkness. That's what you're hearing about. Especially for the focus of the Girmatia, I specifically focused on the women, the single women that came to Fiji. You know, like, they tried to look for husbands on the ship because they knew they were coming as single women and they were in vulnerable situations. So when I wrote the song, I wanted to be able to, how do I say it, to portray what they were feeling then. Like every aspect of their life, they were brought in, they worked from 5 in the morning right up until 9 p.m. And then they'd come home with the little meager rations that they had, but they still had to worry about being taken against their will every single night. So I felt like, okay, I'm going to focus this particular character on women for the Girmatia section. When I wrote the song, I then took it to Shobna Chanel. Shobna Chanel then introduced me to Mr. Vivekanand, who I later found out is quite popular in the Indo-Fijian community here in Fiji. And he did an amazing job. He not only translated, he added, he gave me the tune. I was waiting for the translation. He turned up at the office and he goes, here, I've done the music. You can copy it and record it, but I want you to know that even when I was writing it and singing it, my wife was crying. Because it's quite an emotional process. And the same for modern day trafficking. Now Blackbirding has a song that's 150 years old that we've been carrying forward. The process there was, because I didn't write it, it's 150 years old, was trying to sing it in a way or record it in a way that showed the message. Because it's been sung as like a children's nursery rhyme for the last 150 years.
People not realizing that it is. If we can discuss a bit what that song is so that those watching would realize what it is.
It's Laitendalo Kotamangu, you know, and everyone knows it as Laitendalo Kotamangu. But the message in it, it actually talks about what happened to them. Through my research, I found out that the song belongs to the Melanesian people that were brought in through chains and shackles, you know, and so they didn't have any other form of freedom except songs. So they taught that to the young children to carry it forward, which in my opinion is such a brilliant move, because we've carried that song forward to be able to tell the story today. In one of the lyrics in Laitendalo, it goes...
if you can translate For those who may
Sure.
not know it in the Itoke language.
Ausa, because when you listen to the stories and you read the diaries, they say they didn't have the respect to learn our names. So everyone was called Billy. You know, they're just like, hey, Billy boy, come here, Billy boy. Hey, Billy. And there's still some descendants out there with that name, Billy. In the song, it says, Ausa kaundinanga kiviti. They're really taking me to Fiji. Saya vangundinanga ko Billy. My name really must be Billy. In a 150-year-old folk song. So we had to try and make sure that we recorded it in a way where it was eye-opening, you know, because not a lot of people out there know about this song.
So in your storytelling, for those who are now definitely looking forward to coming on Thursday and Friday night for the shows here at Suva Civic Center,
Right.
when you tell the story, there's the historical part, and then what is the journey as the theatrical musical moves throughout until the end?
The production itself, we want to be able to show people it's not only happening now, it happened then. And if we don't do something, it will keep on happening. What I hope this production does is that everyone talks about it, and hopefully this conversation gets to national level.
And you have the premiere tomorrow night. You expecting decision makers and others to be
Yes, we've
here?
invited government heads, the diplomatic corps, some NGO heads, the media, and artists, just so that we have, and some people from corporate, just so we have the right people in the room to be able to see that this is another vehicle, but hopefully this vehicle is able to get decision makers to go, okay, let's do something more than what we're doing.
And the space for it, do you think now with this style of storytelling that it will open up more minds and people will have more discussions, including the interest of the younger generation?
I certainly hope so. I hope that that's exactly what we get out of this production. And I'm, you know, Fiji, if I can just add, I'm so grateful to Asia Foundation and the support of USAID for continually fighting this fight and thinking of different ways to create awareness to the masses. So my hope is that when everyone walks away from the production, from the premiere night, which is tomorrow, the public shows, which is Thursday and Friday, they'll be convicted and then compelled to make a change, because it starts with everyone just talking about it.
Production definitely required a lot of work. How many people were involved? Who did you have to get together to make sure you got this right until the final production that the people will watch tomorrow night?
You know what's amazing, Vijay, is the fact that I have 3 very strong choreographers. I've got Tevita from Mata Dance Group. I've got Shabna Chanel from Shabna Chanel Dance Group. I've also got Glenville Lord from Oceaneer Dance Group in USP. These are 3 very different but powerful choreographers, all working together for the same cause, because they're convicted. They want to help make a difference. So I have about 30 plus dancers. I've got 15 choir members, and I've got my crew and prop stage crew to make sure that we just deliver something that can compel.
Why should they come and watch this?
Come and learn what we think is only in the movies. It's here right now. Come and learn about it so we can help make a change.
Tali, thank you very much, and all the best for tomorrow night. And definitely the premiere tomorrow night is here at the Suva Civic Center, but we will have the details on our website for the public events that are on Thursday and Friday, and you can register online for free for the shows that start at around 5:30.
Doors open at 5:30 and everyone will be seated around 6:30. Lights off.
Benar valeu.
Thank you so much, Vijay.